Well, it's Tuesday Wrestling, and you all know what that means. That means today we're going to be reviewing NWA Powerrr with Holiday Hangover with a couple of matches taking place. We're also going to be reviewing NXT. As you know, they're only 1 week away for New Year's Evil, which is going to be very interesting. So, here on out, anything could happen. And then, of course, we cap it up with some news updates to tell what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling, such as what the events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, any wrestlers that have been signed or departing from the promotions, any developments that have been going on, the whole enchilada. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to the Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J. Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of reviews from various wrestling promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big and is continued to grow. We also do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to get our hands on. We also do more news updates. If we're unable to do it on this episode, we could do it separately. And we also feature a lot of cool stuff on this channel as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us. So click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool stuff as well. So if you also like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or leave us a nice comment in the description down below. So let's begin with our very first review, NWA Powerrr with Holiday Hangover. Now our first match, they call it a Christmas Wish Battle Royal. So basically, you win a match, you get whatever you want to get for Christmas. Now there were a lot of wrestlers like the Outrunners, the Slime Balls, Chris Silvio, Blake Troop, and various others. But to me, the way I was viewing this entire match, it felt like Chris Silvio and Blake Troop could have won it because they were dealing with the newly tag team known as the Slime Balls. But somehow the Slime Balls were able to pick up the win. I mean, one of them remained, and I'm sure that they would want to definitely get the tag team titles. That, to me, I feel like that's the number one thing they want to prove because they're trying to keep the tag team division red hot. Now, speaking of tag team division, our current tag team champions, the Blunt Force Strong, along with that piece of garbage of a manager, Aaron Stevens, on the other hand. As you know, the Fixers, former NWA United States Tag Team Champions, are now gunning for these belts. However, of course, Steven is confident enough to believe that they're not walking out as the Tag Team Champions. So even saying, what are they supposed to fix? But we know the Fixers, they are, people say Fixers, they like to say Fixers rule, which is, of course, not a catchphrase, but more of a statement. So that always sets it out. But we'll see when that day comes. Our next match is a bit of an intergender tag match. Now I cannot recall when was the last time NWA had this. Now we did have a recent mixed tag team match with the Looks That Kill featuring Natalia Markova and Brian Idol taking on Camille and Tom Latimer. But it was a very interesting match. There was a moment where Sal the Pal was extended hands for handshake, but the obvious thing is do not trust him. However, Misa Kate really hang in there, took a really good beating, but she took it like a champ, and of course, did a beautiful heel kick right in of course, his face, and it was over right from there. I thought it was fantastic. Now, our next match, and I think this was our final one, we have Talos and Daisy Kills taking on a newly teamed Carson Drake and Lord Cruz. Now, I have seen Lord Cruz before on previous promotions in the Independence, but I think this is more like for Talos and Daisy Kills, how to say, a way of getting retribution or putting the entire NWA Tag Team Division on notice. Now, keep in mind, they have lost the NWA United States Tag Team titles against the Immortals. So, I don't know if they would definitely make a play for the World Tag Team titles. That's something that, to me, I could picture, but when will that happen? Excuse me. Now, but the rest of the entire of the show, they went back and showed a replay of NWA 74, where Camille, at the time when she was the longest reigning NWA Women's World Champion, takes on Kenzie Page after winning a Rumble match that led to it. So I don't need to do a review on that since I already did it before, but just put it out there if anybody checked it out. And I think that's pretty much it what we have right now with NWA. So let's move on with NXT. Hey, NXT, 1 week away from New Year's Evil. Anything could happen before we get to that. So let's get started. Now, our first match is an all or nothing type of match. Now, remember, Chase, you are currently dealing with a financial crisis that's been happening. However, Andre Chase made the most dumbest mistake by putting his money on the line against OTM. So that kind of be like, are you sure this is the right choice? Now you know Duke Hudson. He always had his back, but sometimes he questions, why are you doing this anyway? This is, I mean, they're trying to gain money as much as possible, but apparently that didn't do well. But of course, the D'Angelo family were gonna watch this match regardless. But Andre Chase made the biggest mistake by tagging himself in, getting himself in a big spine buster by both Lima and Price, but Price was the one who picked up the win by pinning him. Now, we do have this thing what they have with NXT called the year-end awards. Now, three of them have been presented. We have Tag Team of the Year, the Creed Brothers. Do I agree with that? Hell effing yes. Then we have Female Superstar of the Year, Tiffany Stratton. Well, we can agree on that. I mean, she had a really good impact at some point of this year. And then, of course, for male, Ilya Dragunov. Now, I'm not sure yet. I mean, I would have preferred Carmelo Hayes. I don't know what you guys would think, but that's what they have. Now, our next match is the NXT Heritage Cup. Noam Dar versus Josh Briggs. Now, remember, Josh Briggs has never been in these type of matches before. But, however, of course, the Efren metaphor, we're going to get involved in this match. Tried to get himself, but Josh Briggs lost his composure because they used the bucket on him and it didn't work. Then he used the bucket on Noam Dar to disqualify. Of course, that little smirk of Noam Dar's face, happy that he retained the title by disqualification. But that's what happened. However, later on we did witness Brooks Jensen have a little chat with him about that he understands what's going on. He said that it would have made a difference if he was there with him. But however, this seems like this was the end of the whole gang between Briggs, Fallon, and Jensen. So basically, Fallon has to deal with, of course, Little Miss Pretty Girl, the center of the universe, Tiffany Stratton, and of course, Josh Briggs will go on his own. So there were reports indicating that this was going to happen. I mean, I have to say it was a good run. I mean, they were NXT UK Tag Team Champions, but they never actually became the NXT Tag Team Champions. So that's how it ends right there. Now, after what happened last week, we saw Ilya Dragunov got hurt, but the real question, what's going to happen for New Year's Evil? So Hayes and Williams are talking about that, since we know Williams is going to be there, and Hayes is trying to encourage him that of course, that people will talk about him if he able to defeat, of course, Dragunov. So that he's trying to stay on a positive note. However, in the end of the next segment, we see Axiom and Nathan Frazier talking, and then of course Braun Breaker's name was mentioned, but Braun Breaker did not take that too kindly, so he put himself in a match against Nathan Frazier. But Frazier's like telling Axiom, "What the hell? Why didn't you warn me? I winked at you." I'm like, "He can't see you." But yes, that's what happened. Now, the resident mean girl, Cora Jade, was in action to take on Carmen Petrovich. Now, remember, last week, Cora Jade goes out telling the entire world the NXT Savior is home. Try to take the locker room of Carmen Petrovic, but of course, Carmen tried to deal with her as possible in the match. But of course, Jade Cargill put her in a DDT to win the match, and then she decided she's going to take care of her and put her out of her misery. But luckily for her, Gigi Dolan actually come out for the save, and that's how things ended. Now, our next match is the semifinals of the Men's Breakout Tournament. We have Lexis King taking on Riley Osborne. However, Lexis King believed that he had the entire thing planned out, how things were going in his favor. However, Trey Bearhill, who is out for blood for what, of course, Lexis King did to him, costing him an opportunity to participate in the breakout tournament, just showed up. Now, what it seems like Lexis King could have won this match. Apparently, Trey Bearhill got involved, distracting Lexis King, and then putting himself, and then of course Osborne applying a shooting star press, putting himself in the finals of the men's breakout tournament. However, Trey Bearhill has some unfinished business with King, but King ran away like the coward that he is, who does not want to deal with him one way or the other. So that's where it leads us. Now, our next two awards for the NXT Year End Awards, we have Match of the Year. This one leads back to No Mercy in September 30th, 2023. Carmelo Hayes versus Dragunov. And then we have Moment of the Year. This was back in October 10th, 2010, 2023, when The Undertaker showed up. I have to say, that is the best moment for me because Undertaker is the badass. Now, Ava Reigns had to give an update about the condition of Ilya Dragunov after that match that he had with Rich Holland. Ava said that no one has spoken to him for a week now, so questions are still in the air about that. Now, our next match, we have Nathan Frazier versus Braun Breaker. I have to say, Nathan Frazier did a pretty good job trying to hold on against a big dude like Braun Breaker. However, that wasn't enough until he speared him. So that kind of puts it out. Now, New Year's Eve, another match has been added up. No quarter catch point. Who felt like, Lucha Libre style is a lot of pathetic. They're saying that their style of catch wrestling, putting groundwork, is far more superior. So we got the battle of which styles is better. Of course, they'll be facing Dragon Lee and members of the LWO, Dodo Cruz and Joaquin Wilde. Now, Ariana Grace, as you know, last week she got bitch slapped by Roxanne Perez, who, of course, Roxanne Perez got offended by her, by what she had to say. So she thought that, of course, Roxanne Perez wanted the match against her. Grace thought that it was going to be rejected, but it did not. It's going to take place in New Year's Evil. You see, Ariana Grace thinks that she will get punished for what she did, but it was going to happen no matter what. Now, as you know, we got New Year's Eve. We had a bit of a face-to-face confrontation between Lyria Valkyria and Blair Davenport. Now, as you know, Lyria has fought her way to become champion. So is Davenport. But however, Davenport is confident enough to believe that she will walk out this coming Tuesday as the new NXT Women's Champion. We will see what that happens after that. Now, our next match is another semifinals of the Men's Breakout Tournament. Oba Femi taking on Tavion Heights. I have to say, Tavion Heights has been one of the most impressive wrestlers we've seen. But Oba Femi, he is a strong individual. It's a battle of strength and technique. You probably would think that this was going to be an impossible match, but it was Oba Femi with a power bomb that put him away. And now next week, it's going to be Obafemi versus Riley Osborne. Who will walk out? Well, we'll see about that. Now, Ilya Dragunov made his return, so he basically is going to look for Trick Williams to discuss the matter of New Year's Evil. Our next match, we have Joe Coffey versus Joe Gacy, of course. We all don't know what's going on with Joe Gacy. He's all gone cuckoo bananas for the last couple of months. But, however, he had a deal with Joe Coffey. But Gallows were tending to get in the way. But Tank Ledger decided to give him a little backup to deal with the other members of Gallows, with Wolfgang and Mark Coffey. But it was the upside down by Joe Gacy that put away Joe Coffey with a good, impressive win. Now, in the backstage area during an interview, we did see LWO members Cruz and Wild, along with Dragon Lee, to discuss they're going to put away show the superiority of Lucha Libre to a no-quarter catch point. And of course, Joaquin Wild and Cruz were surprise visited by someone from their past, and that person is Electra Lopez, who now they're proud of her, how far she has become, and of course, introducing Lola Vice. Now, our next match, this is more of a final chapter between two wrestlers, Eddie Thorpe and Dijak, in an NXT Underground match. Now, Dijak has always been very has criticized Eddie Thorpe for his false belief and all this other stuff. And of course, Eddie Thorpe thought the last time they confronted each other, it was the end of it. But Dijak refuses to stay down. But this time, of course, Eddie had to go through digging more deeper. As you know, there was no ropes. There was everything that could happen. But it was, of course, Eddie Thorpe that picked up the win when he put him down on the outside on top of the ring and commentator's desk, and ref called it just like that. It was over. Eddie Thorpe. But the obvious question is, could this be the final chapter between them? I just hopefully do so, because Eddie Thorpe has to focus on what he needs to focus on. Hopefully, one day becoming champion. Now, our final face-to-face confrontation, we have Trick Williams and Dragunov. So Trick Williams is asking him, "Are you 100%, or do you want to postpone it back?" So Dragunov takes off the neck brace. He's told him, "I'm fine. I'll see you on New Year's Evil." So basically, it's on. So it's on, bitches. That's how it's gonna be. So I think that's pretty much it for for NXT. Let's move on with our lasting news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. So let's talk about updated events from the promotions themselves. First, we're going to go with, of course, GCW. Now, we do have the 10 participants for the Nick Gage Invitational 8 that takes place on December 30th. Let me pull that up right about now. Let's see. Here it is. All right, so we have John Wayne Murdoch, Risa Serra, Daiju Wakamatsu, Emerson Jane, Jacob Fatu, Violento Jack, Jimmy Lloyd, Masha Slamovich, Miedo Extremo, and Ciclopse. So these are the participants involved in this. Now, however, the winner will face Blake Christian for the GCW World Title in Aftermath. So that's going to be interesting to see. So we'll find out who will walk out. Now, speaking of the Aftermath show takes place, the GCW tag team titles will be defended. Violence Forever takes on Wasted Youth, Marcus Mathers and Dylan McKay. Now, as you know, recently I did Gatoh Move will have their next show on January 10th. 3 matches have been announced. However, 2 more matches have been added. The first one, they announced that Rio, our first ever AEW Women's Champion, will be making her return to Gatoh Move, and she'll be in a tag team match with Hagane Shino. They take on Sayaka Obihiro and Kurumi Hirage from Prominence. But we also have the founder of Gatoh Move / Choco Pro, Emi Sakura, taking on Iya Yatsuba. I have to say that this match is going to play an important role. Reason is this. Now, keep in mind, Miya Yatsuba is the first ever non-Emi Sakura trainee. She was never trained by Emi Sakura. She never actually learned from her. She learned from Emi Sakura's student, Mei Shiruga. So I think this is going to be a perfect test to see how much she has learned since the last time. They have faced each other before last year, but now this is going to be good. Now, Prestige Wrestling for the A Moment of Violence taking place on February 25th. We have Mascara Dorada taking on Rey Horus. So that's going to be one hell of a match. Now, for West Coast Pro's Ill Mattered show on the 27th of January, we have Beefcake taking on the South Pacific Savages. So that's going to be one hell of a match. A German promotion, WXW, as you know, every year they have a tournament called the 16 Karat Gold. The winner will face against the winner for the WXW World Champion. And they announced right now Leo Rush will be participating for the first time ever. Now, they have tried to book him many times before, but now he's back. He's going to participate. Now, finally, as you know, 2024 is going to be the year when TNA comes back and they're going to kick some ass. So basically, they announced that grizzled young veterans will be making their debut at Hard to Kill and Snake Eyes. So I'm looking forward to that. Right now, grizzled young veterans are making a statement in the tag team division in both the Indies and, of course, TNA. So that's going to be very interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if they signed those guys in TNA. I think they will be a perfect team that could elevate the tag team division in TNA. What do you guys think? You guys tell me. Now, moving on for our last thing, developments have been going on. Now, if you guys remember the Joshi promotion project, Evolution, as you know recently, they started out with 3 girls, Chi Chi, Zones, and Sunny. Now, recently, Sunny, as you know, suffered some sort of injury, health concerns, and forced her to retire. Now, she's currently retired from pro wrestling. However, she will remain as a part of the staff to help bring in the new generation. However, like not too long ago, they put out an application for brand new girls they wanted to train. Well, they just announced a new trainee will be making her debut on the 28th of January, and her name is Soy, and she's going to be facing off against Nanane Takahashi. So that's going to be an interesting match to watch. Now, speaking of the Joshi wrestlers, another making history is All Japan Pro Wrestling. As you know, in the past, they have recruited many Joshi wrestlers, like Unagi Sayaka, members of the Oz Academy, all this and that. However, they announced that Actwres girls will be making their debut on January 3rd. The AWG champion, Miku Inoue, will be teaming up with Natsuki and to take on Chika Goto and Koiki. I think hopefully I pronounced that right. So yes, Actwres girls are making a very interesting development. Now, I will be doing at some point a video about the Joshi wrestlers making appearances in like promotions like New Japan, Noah, and now All Japan. But what would it be beneficial? So we'll see about that at some point. So I think that's pretty much it what we have for our news updates. Let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, I will be doing a bit of a review of the Iron Claw film, talking about the story and the lives and the Von Erich family. I actually went to see it, and I'll give you guys my honest thoughts and also who participated in the wrestling. As in this one, this is going to be good for everybody to enjoy. Next up, we do have AEW Dynamite, and I haven't decided what else. I'm a bit behind on certain things, so I'll catch up as soon as possible. So we'll see what happens. So we'll wing it from here on out. So that's about it. So I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.